Hello, and welcome to a very sunny Wednesday. It is so hot, so hot. So I think it's gone up to 30 today. So been out with Betty already. Um, after spending the morning up with Enzo, got up around about for like 5ish, sat down, watched some cartoons with him, took him back up to Laura, went and walked Betty before it got too hot, and now I'm in here for an upper body session. It's going to be a little bit of a slow, lazy one, but that's not necessarily like a bad thing, because I think that is the biggest mistake people make in a fat loss phase. So again, if you've been following me for a little while, you probably know, but yeah, I'm kind of week 11 now, 12. I'm week 12 of this fat loss phase at the moment, and I think the biggest mistake people make in the gym in kind of general is using exercise as a way to burn calories, when actually what we want to be doing, particularly with the strength work, is ensuring that we maintain onto hard-earned muscle tissue, because we've got to realise that the goal is fat loss, not weight loss. They are two completely kind of different things. So if we want to ensure that the weight that I'm losing is coming from body fat, then these sessions are all about lifting as heavy as you can. And when it comes down to lifting heavy, that's where rest is important. So that's what I kind of mean with having like a slightly slower session. It's not about burning loads of calories. I mean, I'm doing cardio days anyway, so I've got 2 cardio days, but again, they're not for burning calories, they're for my heart health, which is also important. The strength days are purely for muscle retention, and that's why if you are in a kind of like a fat loss phase, or all of my clients are in a fat loss phase, they do at least 2 strength sessions per week. And to be honest, like 2 is more than enough. Obviously, it depends how you want to kind of split your program up and timing and how busy you are. But yeah, you do need to make sure that you have got those strength sessions. So really enjoying a new home kind of like setup. I'm having like a little play around with a few different kind of like movements, but currently my kind of like split is upper lower steady pace cardio, upper lower, then I've got like a HIIT session at the end of the week as well. Obviously, very fortunate that I've got a home gym set up, so I'm probably training a little bit more frequently. But this is what I wanted to talk about today as well. Like in terms of this fat loss phase in general, it has been far from perfect. And that's why with clients that I work with, one of the biggest things that we do need to break free from is the perfectionism, because that's what holds so many people kind of back. Because don't get me wrong, we do want to be disciplined, but when we have these rigid rules and stories that we kind of hold with dieting in general, and I think for a lot of clients this can come from things such as like Slimming World, parents' upbringing, things we've internalized. It's very easy to get kind of like fixated or driven by this story or rigid rule that in order to lose body fat and get the results that you want, you've got to be perfect all the time. But when we look at perfectionism and what it actually is, it is experiential avoidance. So essentially what that means is the avoidance of unwanted, uncomfortable emotions. So anxiety, failure, guilt, shame, all of these different things. And we've got to think that the quickest way to get rid of these feelings is to quit, is to give up, change the goal, pretend that we don't care. And this is why a lot of the time with fat loss, and why I use the ACT method with a lot of clients, is in order to get the results that we want, we can't get rid of these feelings, and we've got to accept that they are part of the process. And to get the goals that you want and to get to things that are important to you, there is a level of vulnerability to it. You've got to be willing, and willingness is a huge term that we use in psychological flexibility, is the willingness to experience discomfort, uncomfortable emotions, but to help you lead a life that's towards your values, towards your goals, towards what's important to you. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, is some of the frameworks and tools that you can use to help you do that. So one of the first things that I do with a lot of clients, particularly those that are suffering with perfectionism or they feel like perfectionism is what is holding them back, is looking at how predictable our brains actually are. And the fact that the methods they've been using in the past have actually been holding them back and making things worse. So what we are usually taught to do is either struggle with the thought or we obey it. So let's have a example of you've just decided, right, now's the time, you've got a holiday coming up, you want to lose body fat, you're getting fed up, so you're going to go to the gym 4 times a week, you've prepped your meals, you've prepared everything, you're going to be perfect, and then you go into Monday and the day is really, really chaotic. You've got to also, forgive me for being out of breath here, because it's like I'm in the middle of the training session to get this video done because I'm out with Enzo today. But yeah, breaking free from perfectionism, and it is also really hot in here and I'm training at the same time, so if I'm out of breath, please excuse me. But like I said, you're preparing and you've got this perfect plan. But then Monday arrives, you've had a stressful day at work, you've got on a train, you've forgotten your lunch, so you've had to go in, grab a meal deal, grab what's available to you, and all of a sudden your brain starts kicking in and telling you, well, you failed now. That's it. I told you could never do it. And that's what I kind of mean by predictability. So one of the tasks that I get clients to do, and I want you to think about doing yourself, is write it down. So preempt some of the things that your brain is going to say, particularly with that perfectionism. So we know that if you even remotely go off plan, let's say, like I said, you got a meal deal rather than your usual lunch, what's your brain going to tell you? You're not good enough, you're a failure, you never stick to anything, you're fat now. And it's also going to look for reasons and evidence for that being true as well. And as we said, if we try to struggle with it, then we just end up with this internalized battle in our heads. So that's where we start to argue, is it true, is it false, stuff like that. But your brain's always going to fight back. And if we obey it, well, obeying means, well, give up and quit. And neither of those are going to get you to your goal. But if we can preempt what our brain's going to actually tell us, then what we can do is use a very simple skill, which is known as cognitive defusion. And essentially, cognitive defusion skills are a very simple, easy way to kind of start to get into the frameworks that we kind of use with psychological flexibility. And it is about not trying to fight the thought, we're not trying to get rid of it, we're not trying to avoid it, we're just going to try and create that space. So to start with, when we start to realize that these thoughts are coming into our brain, rather than having a thought or thinking, oh my God, I failed, we are simply going to go, I'm noticing my brain is telling me I failed. Another method is, if you think about it, that same example, now I want you to imagine in your head that you're saying it in the voice of Mickey Mouse. Sounds stupid. And most people, when I say that, first instinct is they laugh, but that is the point, right? It's taking the sting out of the initial thought. And then another way that you can, one that you can use is the story method. So I'm telling myself the failure story. So it's like, thank you, brain, for telling me the failure story. So it's something I want you to start to kind of like practice next time you're going through one of these kind of phases. So number one, try and predict what your brain is going to say and what it's going to come up with, and then choose a couple of these examples to kind of help you with that kind of level of diffusion. And I'll do I've done a separate video in the past actually, but I will do another one around diffusion kind of methods. And if you do want a few more, I have got a worksheet which I will leave in the description that you can kind of go through. And all I want you to do this week is to practice that, because at the moment we've got to look at it that perfectionism is telling you that in order to hit your goals, you've got to get everything 100% right, but it just does not exist. To get the fat loss you want, it is really, really messy. And just like I said, this phase that I'm doing now, right? I've just come to the gym, it is boiling hot. I tell myself that I need to do a YouTube video every single week, and you know, I'm really busy today, got lots of different things on. So I thought, why not do it all together? Is it perfect? No. Does it mean I've got it done? Yes. Same with the session. Is it a little bit slower paced today? Yes. Have I still ticked it off? Yes. Am I still moving towards my goal? Yes. And I'm going to stop doing that and end the video there.